94,000. That is the number of Nigerian doctors and nurses who have left Nigeria since the Japa wave began. 94,000 people trained by Nigeria, paid for by Nigeria, needed by Nigeria, gone. And every time someone brings up this matter, the number, when they bring it up, the conversation goes one of two ways. Either good for them, Nigeria failed them, they deserve better, or they are selfish, they should have stayed and fixed the country. I've had both arguments my entire life, and I am here to tell you both of them are missing the point entirely. Stay with me, please, because this one is personal for a lot of reasons, and I'm sure it's personal to a lot of us as well, and that is waiting to happen this very day. Let me give you the picture, the full picture first. In the last 5 years alone, 16,000 Nigerian doctors emigrated. The cumulative total, doctors and nurses combined, is 94,000. Since the Japa syndrome began, in just 3 years between 2022 and 2024, 42,000 Nigerian nurses left, with the largest number going to the United Kingdom, making Nigerians the biggest group of NHS nurses from sub-Saharan Africa in Britain. Think about that. The biggest group, not from India, not from India, not from Caribbean, from Nigeria. Nigeria now sits on the World Health Organization's workforce safeguard list, a list of countries whose health systems are so depleted they need international protection. Meanwhile, in the UK, a Nigerian nurse earns the equivalent of what a Nigerian nurse might earn in the entire year in a single month. Nigeria's national minimum wage is approximately £15 per month. The UK minimum wage is £11.44 per hour per month versus per hour. And we are asking people to stay. And it is not just healthcare. Engineers living, software developers living, academics living, lawyers living. A 2022 survey found that 69% of Nigerians aged 18 to 35 wanted to relocate, and they wanted to relocate abroad if given the opportunity. In 2019, that figure was 39%. In 3 years, the desire to live nearly doubled. That is not a statistics. That is a generation giving up on a country. Nigeria trained these professionals. Nigerian taxpayers, however broken that system is, subsidized their education. Federal government universities, teaching hospitals, medical schools, billions of naira invested in producing doctors, nurses, engineers, and when they qualify, they leave. The investment walks out of the door. They walk out the door. The receiving countries, they gain the skilled workers. The individuals, they gain better opportunities. But Nigeria loses the human capital. Everyone wins except the country called Nigeria that paid for the training. That is a real and legitimate concern. But here is one other side of this story. Nigeria faces economic instability, high unemployment despite high education qualifications, low and inconsistent wages, inflation, poor working conditions, inadequate facilities, outdated equipment, poor infrastructure, and underfunded institutions. A doctor who trained for 7 years, completed residency, and is offered a salary that cannot cover rent and school fees for their children. What exactly are we asking them to sacrifice? And for whom both sides have truth in them. But only one side has power over the situation, and it is not the person on the plane. Here is where I stand on all of this. Japa is not the problem. Japa is the symptom. The problem is a Nigerian government, successive Nigerian governments that have had the resources, the talent, and the mandate to build a country people want to stay in, and have consistently failed to do so. I dare say, consistently failed us. Nigeria is not a poor country. Let me be very, very, very clear about that. Nigeria has oil. Nigeria has gas. Nigeria has some of the most fertile agricultural land in the world. Nigeria has a population of over 220 million people, the largest in the entire Africa, an enormous internal market. Nigeria has produced world-class professionals in every field. Nigeria is not poor. Nigeria is badly governed. And here is the part that really gets me. The same government that watches its professionals leave, that does nothing meaningful to fix the wages, the infrastructure, the security, the institution that are driving people away, that same government turns around and celebrates the diaspora at every Diaspora Day event. They celebrate the remittances, they celebrate the achievements, they put us on stages and call us ambassadors. But they will not fix the conditions that made us leave. You cannot guilt people into staying in a burning building. You have to put out the fire. And until Nigeria leadership at every level decide that fixing Nigeria is more urgent than celebrating the people who escaped it, the planes will keep moving. Make I talk this matter straight for Pidgin once again. This our government, them. Then they use our Japa story as decoration while doing nothing to make Japada coming back worth it. That not the real crime. That is a crime. Now, for those of us who are here in the UK and elsewhere all over the world, I want to say something directly to you. If you japad, you do not owe anyone at all, an apology. You made a rational decision in the face of a system that was not working for you. That is not selfishness. That is survival. That is what human beings do. But I also want to challenge you with something. The remittances we send back home, $21 billion a year from the Nigerian diaspora globally, are keeping millions of families alive. That is real, and it matters enormously. But money sent home cannot perform surgery. Money cannot teach a class. Money cannot fix a road or restore electricity or even rebuild an institution. Money helps, I know. People build nations. Nations are built by people. So, the question is not whether you are right to live. The question, in my opinion, is what is your relationship with Nigeria now that you are out? Are you just sending money and moving on? Or are you part of a diaspora that is demanding accountability, that is investing strategically, that is using its voice and its position to push for the Nigeria that made living unnecessary? Because the most powerful version of the Nigerian diaspora is not one that escapes and forgets. It is one that escapes, succeeds, and then turns around and refuses to stop fighting for the place it came from. That is the diaspora I want to be part of. That is the conversation Wetin dey happen exists to have. Again, I remind you, 95,000 doctors and nurses, 69% of young Nigerians wanting to leave a country on the World Health Organization (WHO) workforce safeguard list. These are not numbers to be ashamed of. They are numbers that should make every Nigerian, wherever you are all over the world, at home and abroad, angry, very angry, and angry enough to demand something different. Not angry at the people who left, but angry at the condition that made living like the only option. If this episode made you think, share it. Comment below and tell me, did you Japa? Are you planning to? And do you think Nigeria can ever give people a reason to come back? I want to hear from you. My name again is Samuel. This is Wetin dey happen. And that, my friend, on this very day, is Wetin dey happen.